Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to Yoga is the Answer. I'm Devi, your guide, and this is not the video that I thought I was going to be making today. But if I've learned anything in this world, it is that things almost never go according to the plan of the ego, and rather according to maybe some plan that exists somewhere else. I don't even know. Anyway, what I thought I was going to do was talk about how my yoga practice has evolved since I got back to it in 2015 until now, 2025. My 37th birthday just passed, so I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about, the evolution of my practice from then until now. And I will tell you about that, but after I made the improvised class that I absolutely love, by the way, if you haven't taken it, I will link it here and I highly recommend it. I wish I could do it now, but I can't. I jumped from 12 meters high into the lake right down behind me, and I injured my shoulder. I will actually share with you a little video of it happening so you can see what I was doing. I was holding my arms up, as you can see. Yeah. And as I hit the water, tweaked something. So, I am someone who deeply believes that everything happens for a reason. So I have been listening for those reasons over the past 8 days. It has been 8 days since then. One reason that I got was that I needed to remember that my strength and power is much greater than that of the physical, which I feel like I know, and yet at the same time, the thing that I chose to do in the practice on my birthday was something hard, something powerful physically, mentally as well. But that's what I chose to do. That's what I chose to bring to you. And I would never do it differently. I loved it, right? But I guess maybe I needed that little bit of like extra reminder or something like this. Another thing that came up was that I sometimes try too hard to lift people up. Because, of course, I can't lift someone up if I wanted to. Still, probably right now, but definitely not then. And I do try quite hard to lift people. And sometimes I get frustrated when things are not received the way that I intend. Sometimes I get frustrated that people are even taking classes for strictly the physical benefit of the yoga asana practice when that's not my intention. So I didn't think I was just going to say that out loud, but here we are. I said it out loud, so there's that. But again, that was part of my evolution as well. That was part of what I was going to talk about, right? The one that I got today. So today I was able to get back to my full Kundalini practice. The past 2 days I was able to get back to my full Kundalini practice. I will explain that more in depth in a minute. But as I was going through it, and this is probably going to sound crazy, and it probably actually is a little bit crazy. I had this thought that I have to trust my intuition even more than usual, especially when it defies logic. So, what was happening? The Kundalini practices that I do, there is one that is a pranayama practice, and it starts with the swinging of the arms really hard. And that was something I could not physically possibly do after this injury. And then every day I do one physical Kundalini Kriya and one meditative Kundalini Kriya. And both of the physical ones, there is this motion called Kastikasana, which is this like wood chopping asana. And so you swing your arms, and that was even harder to do. It was like the thing that hurt my shoulder. Of all of the different movements that I could make, that is what hurt it most. So I took several days that I didn't do either of those things, only about 3 to 4 days. I think by the 5th day, I was back to the pranayama practice, because having my arms out and not together felt better. Also, there's fewer times to do it. I did get back to that. It was kind of surprising how I was able to, even though my logical mind was like, you shouldn't do that. But my intuition was like, yeah, you can. And I could. And then yesterday, I got back to the practices with the Kastikasana. And mind you, these physical practices also all include being on the hands and all include quite a lot on the shoulders. And again, I was like, my logical mind was like, don't do it. But my intuition was like, no, do it. And not only was I able to do it, the pain got less and less and less as I was going through it. Today, again, I did my whole Kundalini practice, and the one that I did today is even more on the shoulders. And so that's when that message kind of came through. It was like, almost like that I have to remember that so much of yoga defies logic. And I know that, right? I know that I know it because I don't tell most people the things that I do, the things that I see in my meditations, right? The things that my body does when I sit in stillness that turns into not stillness because my body is like getting things out. I didn't even think I was just going to say that, and now here I am. See, I told you it's going to sound crazy because it probably is crazy. But that's the thing. The deeper and deeper that you get into yoga, the more and more it defies logic. And the more it shows you that there is so much more than we can see, so much more than we are taught in the Western world, in schools. And so this just like weird little instance of like every person in the world being like, oh, go to the doctor. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't push yourself too hard. And my intuition being like, do it anyway. And me being like, all right, fine. I've ignored my intuition enough that I might as well. Like, what is the worst that can happen, right? I mess up my shoulder a little bit more. Who cares? At least I can still walk, And I mean, seriously, the way that it felt from doing things that someone would logically say to not do while it's healing, I can only tell you, right? Because I'm the only one who can experience it. I'm the only one who has experienced it. And I genuinely cannot believe that any of those words just came out of my mouth. I really didn't think that I was going to actually tell you all of that. And yet here we are. I'm telling you all of that. So, well, anyway, now I'm going to get to the kind of evolution of my practice.